So Steve, you came across this case, right? You're a single event attorney. You're going through your pipeline, your cases, you get a call on this case. Tell me about that journey. Tell me about that first client.
Yeah, so I got the call, and a mom from New Haven said that her she had a very, very premature infant born extremely small, and she said that the child was given donor milk from a milk bank and had actually survived against all odds. No one thought that this baby would live. And she said everything was going well. The child had actually lived for 40 days. Most people had told her the child was gonna pass away after a day or two. And when you get to 40 days, the chance of survival is increased significantly. So things were looking pretty good. And I think the mom was thinking, wow, we're out of the woods. We're going to be okay. My baby's going to live. And she said that she saw them switch to Similac formula. And she told me that as soon as they switched to the formula, her baby became sick and got necrotizing enterocolitis. And, when I first heard this, to think that baby food could kill a baby, it just it almost was like I have to say we get a lot of calls. We have to screen calls. We can't take every case, but she was so adamant that this happened, and she didn't have a car. So I drove down to New Haven. I met her at a McDonald's and we had a coffee, and she explained the whole story to me. And she was extremely smart woman. I went back to my office and simply started Googling, cow's milk formula. So these formulas, Similac made by Abbott and Enfamil made by Mead Johnson, they're made from cow's milk instead of human milk. So incredibly, there's all these articles out there that say that cow's milk-based formulas and fortifiers significantly increase the risk of necrotizing enterocolitis in preemies. And it's been known since the 1970s, and it's still fed to this day. To this very day, these products are still fed to premature infants. So I filed that very first case, and my partner here is Scott Camisar. Scott and I went to Paul Levin, and Paul called Jose, and the four of us decided to put a little bit of money together and put a Facebook campaign out, because what I started thinking was mothers never know why their babies got necrotizing enterocolitis. No one ever tells them it's from food. No one ever even mentions cow's milk. It's not even discussed by the doctors, the hospitals. There's absolutely no warnings on Similac or Enfamil about necrotizing enterocolitis. So it's this conspiracy of silence, and mothers never know. So we just put a little Facebook ad out there and said, did your premature infant get necrotizing enterocolitis? It was just one question, and oh my God, we had the floodgates open. All these mothers who have these horrible things happen to their baby. And unfortunately, a lot of the babies, they get this horrible bowel disease called necrotizing enterocolitis, where the bacteria invades the bowel walls, and the bacteria then will leak out. The bowel walls can perforate. The bacteria gets everywhere. The baby gets septic and often dies. Or what they do is they go in, and on these little tiny guts, these pediatric surgeons remove the dead bowel, and then they actually remove the bowel and put it in a silo outside of the body of these little preemies. And then they just keep snipping away when they see more of the dead bowel. And the reason why this is happening is these Similac and Enfamil cow's milk based formulas. So the mothers never know. And to this day, the only way moms ever know about it is through the advertising. And as you know, Morena, when you said like this is kind of taken off. So from the four of us starting this very first case, there are now, law firms and advertising agencies all over the country that are advertising for these cases. And I'm all in favor of it because it's an army now of knowledge and lawyers and scientists getting together to stop this harmful practice. So it's not something that we wanted to keep just between the four of us. We want to get the word out, and we want to change the way that preemies are fed. And like Jose said, ultimately, I think we will. I think when this tort is finally concluded, they're not going to be feeding. In this first case, they fed pure formula to a baby that was only about 900 grams. It's just insane, and it goes against all of the knowledge.
Yeah,
they do it.
When I heard about this case early on, which I think now it's been over a year before the word wasn't out, and you all were trying to figure out where to go from having a handful of cases and doing your own campaign to where you are today. Even though I didn't have all the details or understanding or the science, what kicked in for me, because I'm a mother and I've given birth to 2 children, healthy children. I do remember that in the hospital, you would be given formula, boxes of formula, not only to use while you were in the hospital. There was some encouragement to breastfeed, but depending on how young the mom is or not knowledgeable, the box of formula is in the room before you even know what's going on. And then there is few boxes of formula that they give to you to take home. And I was a young mom the first time around, and it was really convenient to reach for a bottle of formula versus getting in the habit of feeding a baby every 2 hours and everything else, the overwhelming things that go on when you just had a baby.